My beloved soul, have you felt something shifting in your life even if you cannot pinpoint exactly what? Like a subtle change in the air announcing a new season, you have noticed a silent rearrangement in your world. Friendships that were once constant now seem distant. Opportunities that felt certain vanished like mist. Paths you followed with familiarity have suddenly become strange or uninteresting. Amid this silent transformation, I know a sense of loss and confusion may have visited your heart. You might wonder if you did something wrong, pushed people away, or lost your chance. You look at the empty spaces forming and interpret them as absence, a sign of being left behind. Today, I came to light up this process and give you my perspective. What I am about to show you can transform your walk, because what you perceive as loss, I call pruning. What you feel as distance, I call liberation. I, the divine gardener of your soul, have been walking through your garden with my shears of love. With infinite care, I have been cutting the ties that hinder you, even without you realizing it. I could not explain this before, as you would try to hold onto the branches I needed to remove. But now, with the cuts already made, I can show you the purpose. I am not taking things from you. I am creating space for you to grow. I am not shrinking your world. I am expanding it by removing fences you never knew existed. Before continuing, write this statement of faith in the comments. I am guided by the power of the Holy Spirit. This is your act of trust in the gardener, your declaration that you accept my care, even when the process involves the cut. Now, as the message continues, take a deep breath. What seemed like a time of loss was actually the start of your greatest season of growth. My child, pay attention to what follows, for it is vital that you understand the nature of the ties I am cutting. For the most part, they were not obviously evil or toxic ties. Many were comfortable, familiar, even pleasant. That is why the cut has been confusing for you. The first type of tie I have been removing is the tie to limiting expectations. There were people in your life who loved you, yes, but they loved you within a box. They were comfortable with your old version, the one that did not challenge them or grow beyond their understanding. Unconsciously, their words, reactions, and very presence served as an anchor, keeping you safe in the harbor of mediocrity when I created you to sail oceans of greatness. The distance you felt was not a rejection, it was the anchor rope being cut so your ship could at last set sail. The second type of tie is emotional dependency. There were relationships in your life that became crutches. You leaned on them for your sense of worth, security, and joy. In doing so, you put me second. I, the only source that never runs dry, was replaced by human wells that would inevitably dry up or become tainted. With jealous love, I needed to move those crutches away, not to see you fall, but to force you to steady your feet on me, the rock. The distance was painful, but it taught you to walk on your own legs, which are actually my legs beneath you. The third type of tie is what bound you to your past. People, places, and habits that were a constant reminder of who you were, not who I am calling you to be. They were the guardians of your old self, always ready to remind you of your mistakes and old insecurities. As long as you remained linked to them, you could never fully embrace the new creation you are in me. The cuts were my acts of mercy, declaring over you, the past is over, a new day is born. It is essential to understand that I did not cut these ties in anger, but with the precision of a surgeon removing what prevents the patient's full health. Now, before we continue, write in the comments, I trust the Lord. By doing so, you strengthen your faith and share hope with those who also need to sense my presence. It is your declaration that you trust the wisdom of the divine surgeon. If this message touched your heart, and you wish to support this mission, click Super Thanks and help spread words of light, encouragement, and inspiration. Every cut was an act of liberation. My precious soul, my pruning work is not only external in your relationships, but also internal in your own soul. As I cut ties with people and situations, I was also quietly cutting the internal bonds that kept you captive. The deepest tie I have been cutting is your attachment to a false identity. For years, you defined yourself by your roles: mother, wife, professional, the strong person, the helper. These roles, while good, became your identity. You forgot who you were beyond them. The crisis or transition I allowed in your life, which perhaps shook one of these roles, Was my shears cutting the tie to that limited identity? I was forcing you to ask, who am I when I am no longer this? In the silence of that question, I have been telling the answer softly. You are my beloved daughter. That is your true and immutable identity. Everything else is just a temporary assignment. I have also been cutting your tie to self-reliance. You took secret pride in your ability to handle everything alone. To lead you to a new level of power, I needed to allow situations greater than your strength, leading you to the end of yourself. It was in that place of surrender, on your knees, that you at last let go of control and allowed me in. That moment of apparent weakness was actually your greatest advance, for it was when you traded your limited strength for my unlimited power. And I have been cutting your tie to fear. Fear has been your counselor for too long. It has dictated your decisions and limited your dreams. Every small opportunity I gave you to step out of your comfort zone, even if scary, was me cutting a thread of fear's web. With each thread cut, your freedom of movement increased. What I am about to disclose can transform your life. The agitation, confusion, and sense of lost identity you have felt are not signs of regression. They are the symptoms of your liberation. It is your soul readjusting to a new and broader space of being. I, your God, am sending you a special sign. The sign you await is in this verse, 2 Corinthians 3:17, which says, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom." Write in the comments, "I receive this message and I am blessed," and send love to someone you love, declaring that the Spirit of the Lord is bringing freedom to their life. If this message touched your heart, show your support with a super thanks. And before we proceed, let me lead you to something I prepared to further strengthen your faith. If you feel you need inner healing, spiritual reconnection, purpose, and prosperity, there is a 31-day walk waiting for you. Every day was created for me to speak to you more deeply. The link is in the description and the first pinned comment. Now, let's continue. You receive more messages of light. I am cutting your internal chains so you can walk in the glorious freedom for which I created you. My blessed soul, your cooperation with this pruning process is vital. As I make the cuts, I call you to do your part, to let go. You cannot move into your future if you are still holding the dead branches of your past. The most powerful tool for letting go is forgiveness. You must forgive those who represented the ties I cut. They are not your enemies. They were merely the instruments I used, often without them knowing, to keep you safe but limited for a season. Forgive them for their inability to see your greatness. Forgive them for trapping you in their own limitations. Forgiveness is your act of acknowledging that their role in your life has ended, and you release them with gratitude for the lesson rather than bitterness for the limitation. Next, you must forgive yourself. You blame yourself for staying in those relationships for so long, for believing the limitations, for not freeing yourself sooner. My child, you did the best you could with the awareness you had. Your staying was not weakness. It was your soul patiently awaiting the right time, my intervention. Be kind to yourself. Honor your path. Your ability to forgive yourself is what will give you the freedom not to repeat the same patterns in the future. In conclusion, you must release your old version of yourself. Weep for her if you must. Mourn the woman you were with her comforts and limitations. Thank her for bringing you this far. Then with love, say goodbye to her. You are no longer her. Trying to cling to her will only stop you from fully embracing the new and glorious woman being born. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself and your old version, whom you would like to forgive and release. Visualize each one, send love, and say, I forgive you and release you. May peace be with you. Feel the lightness and freedom forgiveness brings. Repeat this practice every day to strengthen your inner peace and release anxiety. This is your ritual of passage. It is you consciously letting go of the branches I have already cut, so your hands and heart are free to receive the new growth on its way. My precious soul, nature never leaves a vacuum. Neither do I. The space created by the cut ties is not an empty space, but a space of possibility. It is clean soil, plowed and fertilized, ready for new seeds. And the seeds I am planting are of a superior quality. I am planting the seeds of divinely aligned relationships. People who will not be anchors, but sails. People who will not see you as you are, but as I called you to be. They will celebrate your growth, challenge your faith, and run beside you toward your purpose. They will be relationships based not on need, but on mission, not on dependency, but on partnership. You will recognize them by the peace they bring to your spirit and the fruit they produce in your life. I am planting the seeds of a new purpose. The space freed from your old obligations and identities is where your true calling can eventually sprout. I will give you new clarity about your gifts. I will ignite in you a new passion for a need in the world that only you, with your unique history, can fill. Your work will cease to be a burden and become your worship, your expression of love to the world. And I am planting the seeds of a deeper intimacy with me. The space once occupied by your emotional crutches has now become your secret garden with me. It is in this space that we will walk together in the mornings. This is where I will share my secrets with you. Your greatest joy will no longer come from external sources, but from the inexhaustible source of my presence within you. There is something deep I want you to grasp. The quality of your new growth will be directly proportional to the space that was cleared. Because the pruning was deep, the blooming will be glorious. I did not put you through all this for something small. Prepare for a garden that will far exceed the beauty of what you lost. Prepare for fruits that are sweeter, flowers that are more vibrant, and trees that are taller than anything you have ever known. My child, this new season of growth demands a new way of walking. You cannot take your old gardening habits into this new garden. Your old way of operating was based on control, effort, and trying to please others. Your new way will be based on trust, surrender, and authenticity. Your main new practice is listening. Before, you were too busy managing your old ties to hear me clearly. Now, in the space and silence, my voice will become your guide. Cultivate the habit of being still, of asking before acting. Holy Spirit, what is your direction? Your obedience to these mutters will ensure you remain in the center of my favor. Your second new practice is courageous vulnerability. Your old way of protecting yourself was through walls. Your new way of protecting yourself is through my presence. This frees you to be authentic, to share your heart, to admit your weaknesses, and you will discover, to your surprise, that your vulnerability does not push the right people away. It draws them in. Your authenticity will become your superpower. Your third new practice is receiving. You have been a giver all your life. Now, I am teaching you to receive. Receive help. Receive praise. Receive my love. Receive my rest. Receiving is an act of humility that acknowledges you are not the source, but a channel. The better you become at receiving, the more I can move through you to others. I want you to start seeing yourself as an apprentice in this new school of the Spirit. Be kind to yourself. You will make mistakes. You will sometimes return to old habits, and that is fine. Just get up, forgive yourself, and return to the new way of walking. Your perfection is not the goal. Your connection with me is. Share this video with 2 people who need this message. Let's build a chain of love. Leave a comment with a prayer of hope. A simple, Lord, teach me to walk in this new season of trust, authenticity, and receiving is the prayer that keeps your heart open and teachable. My precious soul, your story of pruning and new growth is not just for you. It is a testimony I am writing through your life so others may read. You are becoming a living letter, a demonstration of my power to transform, liberate, and make flourish. There will be people in your life trapped in the same ties that once bound you. They are suffocating in their own boxes, tied to relationships that diminish them, to identities that limit them. They will look at you. They will see your freedom. They will see your joy. They will see your peace. And your life will become a question in their hearts. How? How did she achieve that? Your transformation will be the catalyst for their transformation. You will not need to preach. Your simple presence, your authenticity, the story you tell with your life, will be the most powerful sermon. You will have a natural authority to speak about freedom because you lived it. You will have a genuine compassion for those who are bound because you recall the feeling. What the enemy intended to use to keep you small and fruitless, I am reversing to make you a liberator of captives, a gardener of souls. Your greater purpose is being shown. It is not just about your own flourishing, but about cultivating gardens of freedom in the lives of others. Embrace this call. Your pain was not in vain. Your pruning was not a waste. Everything was preparation for this ministry of multiplication. Your life is becoming proof that a single pruned branch, when it surrenders to the gardener, can become the start of an entire forest. My beloved soul, we have reached the end of our talk. The mystery of your season of loss has been shown as a season of loving pruning. The ties that hindered you have been cut. The space for your new and glorious growth has been prepared. You are no longer in the winter of discontent. You are on the threshold of your most exuberant spring. What I ask of you now is to walk out of the shadow of the old trees and into the sunlight of your new beginning. Leave behind the victim mindset, the nostalgia for what was, the fear of what will come. Embrace your new identity, that of a garden chosen, cultivated and loved by God Himself. Your only task from today on is to remain in the soil of my presence, drink from the water of my word, and keep your face turned toward me, the Son of Righteousness. I will take care of the growth. I will bring the harvest. I will ensure your life bears the fruit for which I created it. Your hardest part is over. The part of the pruning, the cut, the waiting in the dark. Now comes the part of joy, the part of seeing the shoots appear, of smelling the scent of new flowers, of tasting the first fruits of your new life. Enjoy it. Celebrate. You persevered through the pruning. Now rest in the blooming, and know that what is starting to sprout in your life is just a glimpse of the forest of blessings I have reserved for you. The best, my beloved, truly is yet to come. If this message resonated with you and your situation, write in the comments, "I am a new garden blooming in God's hands." Your words strengthen your faith and also light the way for others who need this light. Share your experiences in the comments. In conclusion, I need to lead you to something I prepared especially for you. I have seen your search for inner healing, spiritual reconnection, a new purpose, and prosperity that comes from my hands. None of this is by chance. When your heart cries out, I open pathways. That is why, through this channel, I have set before you a guided 31-day path, a process where daily I can speak more deeply to your spirit. This is not just an ebook. It is a road to restoration, alignment, and growth, created to strengthen your faith, renew your hope, and open doors you never imagined. If you feel this calling, access the link I left in the description and also in the first pinned comment of this video. Start today this walk of healing, reconnection, purpose, and prosperity. I will be with you on every page, guiding your steps and illuminating your way. If this message touched your heart, like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving my word. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.